ಬಂದಿದೆ ಬಂದಿದೆ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ, ಹಿರಿಯರೇ ಇತರ ರಾಜ ರಾಣಿ. ಹತ್ತೋಣ ನಾವು ಅವರ ನೆನಪಿನ ದೋಣಿ, ಕೇಳುತ್ತಾ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋಣ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ. ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋಣ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ, ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡೋಣ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿ. ಇದು ಹಿರಿಯರ ಕತೆ ಹಿರಿಯರ ಜೊತೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯರ ವಾಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ. ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇರಿ, ಖುಷಿಯಾಗಿರಿ.
Hello listeners, this is your RJ Vatsala and I welcome you all to Anubhav, a joint project of National Institute of Social Defense, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India and Media for Community Foundation, implemented by Nightingales Medical Trust. Project conceived by Dr. R. Sridhar, Project Investigator Alok Verma, Coordinators Pooja Murada, Sai Sudha, Kaushalya. Government of India has initiated Elder Line toll-free number 14567. Elders or anyone on behalf of elders can call between morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for any questions and queries and support to elderly. Exams. One of the most irritating, stressful, scary thing in our childhood, right? Most of us carry one or the other experience of the same. Today we have Mrs. Lalita Rao who will share her experience of her examination. Let's listen to her and recall our memories. Now over to Mrs. Lalita Rao.
My examination episodes. Examinations mean anxiety, tension, and however a good student you may be, how well you are prepared, still you are nervous. As the exams approach, it is like the D-Day. I'm no exception. I would like to share my experience of my exams with you. I was studying at Calcutta in Lady Brabourne College. It was a purely ladies' college and I was a studious student. I was in second pre-university. The day of the exam dawned. I went to the exam and did quite well in my theory papers. There was a gap of 1 week for the practicals. I finished my biology and physics practicals too. Just before my chemistry practicals, I got high fever and by evening I developed rashes and I realized I was down with chickenpox. That means 14 to 15 days of isolation. I could not attend my exam. Who will let me in the examination hall? I was in tears. My father rang up our principal and she said she will find out if any other college was conducting the chemistry practicals by that time, so I would be able to take it up after my quarantine period. Only one college, Bangabashi, which was a purely boys' college, had their practicals at that time. I could take it then. I was a little relaxed, though still a bit nervous. I tried to recover before that time. It was always in midsummer that these exams are conducted. And during that time, invariably chickenpox, measles and such viral infection were common and attacked most of the students. My cousin Papu and his friend Ravi were also studying in PUC and they were staying in boys' hostel. They used to visit our house often and have food with us and spend time with us. That day, when I was down with my chicken pox, Ravi came home and told my mother, Auntie, can I stay in your house for a week? My mother and father were hospitable and said, Of course you may. Just then my cousin came and Papu said, who knew Ravi well, Ravi, hi, you can stay here only if you have to choose between measles and chickenpox. We were wondering why he said that. Later, we came to know that in the boys' hostel, the boys were down with measles, and Ravi wanted to stay in our house to avoid getting that infection. When he learned I was down with chickenpox, he immediately went back to the hostel. We all had a hearty laugh. When I got well, I went to Bangabashi College and took my chemistry practicals. I did well and expected to pass well. When the exam results came out in the papers, against my roll number was written incomplete. What a shock I got. I started crying. My father pacified me and went to the examination controller. He verified and said, as my chemistry practicals were taken in a different college and it was not coordinated, so it was written as incomplete. But after checking, they announced that I had passed with a first class. Till then, you can imagine my plight. I was miserable. Anyway, happily after that, I applied and got into the highly acclaimed Presidency College with a seat in BSc Honours in Zoology. We were only 5 students in our class, 1 boy and 4 girls. The lecturers were very good and I enjoyed my classes. Time flies. Almost 2 years were over and only 4 5 months were left for our final exams. My father was transferred to Patna and I could not shift. So I tried to get accommodation in the girls' hostel. There was no vacancy. My uncle and aunt were staying in a small flat on the 4th floor, and I just shifted my things there, though my aunt was not happy to have me. I was preparing for my exams. At last, my exams approached, and the on the ground floor there were some shops and a dhobi. He had his shop too. He was very fond of playing Hindi film songs on a record player. That night, before my main paper, he had his music in full blast. The song Khoya Khoya Chand was coming up with full force, and I could not concentrate at all. I tried plugging my ears, but with no avail. Doggedly, I kept studying. When at last in the morning dawned, and I went to the examination hall, eagerly waiting to get the papers. I seemed a little disturbed somehow. I ignored and entered the hall. As the bell rang, I took the question paper. My mind went blank. The song Khoya Khoya Chand, Khoya Khoya Chand kept ringing in my ears. I could not get it out of my mind. Try as hard as I could not think of anything else. Everything went Khoya Khoya. I closed my eyes and was feeling desperate. The invigilator who saw me asked me, "Is something wrong? Are you okay? Do you want water to drink?" I nodded my head to say no. The song kept haunting me. खोया 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 आंखों में सारे रात जाएगी. Oh my God, am I going to spend this day and night like this? What about my exams? I pondered. At this rate, my answer will be also khoya khoya. It took me almost 15 to 20 minutes before I could muster my wits and started to write the answer. The main question was lengthy and carried 25 marks. Once I started writing, I was okay, but the time was not sufficient and I could not complete the answer. I passed my exams well, but as my lecturers expected, I did not get my first rank, but stood second. For a moment, I felt a little disappointed, but later I realized Loki, who was a local and needed the scholarship badly, got it. I moved to Patna to pursue my further studies. Even to this day, that song, Khoya Khoya Chand, Khoya Khoya Chand, haunts me when I hear it. Have any of you experienced such a thing?
Thank you so much, Lalita, for such lovely experience. Listeners, I hope you too found this program useful. Stay tuned to Hiriyar Vani for more such programs. Government of India has initiated Elder Line toll-free number 14567. Elders or anyone on behalf of elders can call between morning 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. for any questions or queries and support to elderly. Bye for now. Take care.